Oh, it's Thursday. I guess we can come in here and pod, pickety pod. Welcome to Big Baby's podcast. I'm trying to just figure out, right? Why the hell do people do like podcasts? Like, motherfucker. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse. I don't get why people be wearing sunglasses indoors. It drives me insane, especially like when you're normal and not celebrity. Even when you're celebrity, I'd be like, bro, why are y'all doing interviews with sunglasses on? I'm just being ignorant, but y'all know what the vibes are. So hey, it's the big motherfucking baby. And I'm back, and I'm here to do a podcast. And let me tell you, one of the great things about talking on Thursday is a lot of stuff gets to unfold before you actually record. But one of the terrible things about Thursday is you really be wanting to get some shit off on Monday, but you're like, no, we're committed to recording on Thursdays. And forgive me, people, for recording later than I planned on recording. For those of you who are tuning in live, what's happening? But I took a nap and my nap ran over, so it is what it is. But today is a great day. It's a great Thursday here in America, and I guess it's great. I don't really know how great it is because sports have been canceled. Life is being canceled. Bills are still due. Thank God I'm salaried. If you're not, my prayers go out to you. But coronavirus is taking over one city at a time. No DJ Khaled. And I had a full list of stuff that I was going to talk about today. I had some material that I haven't talked about in forever, right? And I was like, yeah, it's not dated. Let's get in here. We're going to talk about breaking down the fourth wall and different ways the media manipulates us and the effect it has on our view of celebrities. Excuse me. What else was I going to talk about? I was going to talk about some fake ass motivational speakers talking about the importance of producing high quality content. I was even going to read this open letter to my next queen. But I'm not doing that today because I actually want to focus on coronavirus because it's big and it's important. And I think I should have an opinion on it since I do have a platform. And I try to be responsible with my platform. So we're going to talk about a little coronavirus while we're drinking a little Corona Extra. Because look at coronavirus. I ain't scared of you. Not one bit. I am not afraid of coronavirus. Now, I don't want to get it. No. But am I afraid of it? Absolutely not. I'm 28 and I have a pretty good immune system. So, I like my odds in that fight. So, coronavirus, if you don't know what it is, you've been living under a rock, and I'm not going to waste my time trying to educate you on that because obviously if you don't know what it is, then you don't care. But here are some things that we need to be aware of. It is real, okay? It's killed some people, yes. But the idea that the world is coming to an end is absolutely false, okay? Don't believe that. It is something that is real. It's going to take time to deal with the pandemic, but at the end of the day, it's something to that will affect our lives, but don't go absolutely batshit crazy over this, thinking you're going to die tomorrow. For one, there's not enough information out for us to understand how bad it is just because we hadn't been monitoring it for the longest and it's just getting started. So it takes time. It takes time for people to get it, recover, people to get it, and unfortunately pass away for us to understand really how fatal this disease is or this virus is. But it's also not anything, okay? So for the people who are telling you, it's nothing to worry about, don't worry about it. No, it's something. It may not be the thing, it's something, but this has incited fear. I can't remember anything really inciting this much fear and turmoil in my life. I remember SARS, but I was too young to like really like, you know what I mean, like take that in. That happened what in like '03. So this is 17 years later. But let me a little bit about coronavirus, man. It's airborne, okay? So if you walk outside and you breathe, you can get it. You people walk around with these masks, especially like the little paper surgery mat. Look, that's not going to do anything for you. That just stops. That helps eliminate stuff coming out of your mouth, out of your nose. But I mean, it's still not totally airtight, so you're still going to be breathing out that air. So a lot of these overreactions are crazy. For one, why is everybody buying toilet paper? Like, did you not already have toilet paper at your house? I know I buy it in bulk. I keep some toilet paper around here. We keep our butts clean around this place over here in the shoebox. So for you people who had to stock up on toilet paper, I'm starting to worry about you. And they tell us to wash our hands and use hand sanitizer and use soap. And again, if that stuff you're not using on the regular, I'm a little concerned about you. It should not take the threat of a pandemic to get you to want to, not be funky. Because if you're not washing your hands, like, just think about it. You're usually in the bathroom with other people, right? So why in the world would you just not even have, like, your pride should make you wash your hands. You know what I'm saying? Like, using a public bathroom, is somebody in there. And if you just want to walk out and just be nasty, that's on you. But that's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So all these people going crazy, us running out of hand sanitizer, running out of soap. Again, it's absolutely nuts because these are things you should already regularly have on you at your house. Because if not, you are disgusting. And I would hate to think what y'all do that people can't see. Because if you ain't washing your hands, I'm convinced you ain't washing your ass. Like, people give me hell all the time because I might post a picture on Instagram or I might be on my story or something while I'm out and my hands be ashy. And they be like, bro, your hands ashy. I'm like, yeah, because when I go to the bathroom, because sometimes when you drink, you have to use the restroom. So like when I use the restroom, I go and wash my hands after I get done draining the main vein. So when you do that, it dries out your hands. And when you are dark skinned like myself, your ash is way more prevalent in your pictures. So your knuckles be shining white like you've been playing in powder, but you haven't. You just been washing your hands. All right. So that's one thing. But honestly, there's no studies that say that this extra hand washing and all that stuff is helping. Obviously, it can't hurt because you just shouldn't be walking around with funky hands, and there's other things that can be affected by this. But you people who don't wash your hands are nasty. So understanding that this is airborne, right? Which to me tells me that if I walk outside of my house, I can catch it. So I guess we should limit how much we leave our house. Yep, maybe, probably. I'm not. Maybe you should limit your interactions with large groups of people. Absolutely. I think that is big, and I'll get more into like the sports league shutting down, but being in large spaces with a lot of people increases your chances of contracting it. But I'm just going to tell you, like, just live your life. And I'm not saying this because I'm a person who believes in fate and it's like, what happens, but just think about it, man. You don't, if it's in the air, you don't know which air it's in, what air is good air, what air is bad air. You don't know who has it and who doesn't. So obviously take some precautions, but don't be totally afraid. Let's see. So a lot of you conspiracy theorists are out here spreading non-truths. And we should be careful about that. We should definitely be careful about who we consume stuff from, because I've read a little bit. I listened to Joe Rogan's podcast. He had a renowned doctor on who actually predicted some stuff about this a couple years back. And pretty much like we don't have a system. We don't have a medical system that is prepared to deal with unexpected pandemics immediately. So that's why it's like it is. Just a result of the system. But look, I don't really want to hear your conspiracies, because if you look throughout history, pandemics happen, epidemics happen. This is something that happens. And along with the economic issues that have come with it, it's been like 10, 11 years of growth. That's not real. We were due for a recession 3 or 4 years ago. So now that this is happening, it's fine. It's the natural cycle of economics. So that's that. Let's not politicize this. I don't want to hear the left saying, "Well, the right did." No. It's a overall systematic problem, and I want to hear the right saying, "Well, if the left would have done, they're just trying to make you believe this," and maybe they are trying to blow it up more than what it is as a means to gain political influence, and I don't think that's right to do that. But both sides need to understand, hey, look, this is not a political thing. It is serious, and we've lost lives, and there's more lives that will be lost because of this. And more importantly to some people, not me personally, but more importantly to some people, there's a lot of money being lost. A whole lot of money. Word to AB, who apparently is engaged. He's an interesting character, but we're not going to talk about AB. You people who think this is a means of voter suppression, I just think you're wrong. I just think you're absolutely wrong. I would like to have some long, drawn out answer for you, but no, you're just wrong. Natural course, stuff like this happens. If you believe like this was this is biological warfare, against who? Who would do it to who? Because America's affected, China's affected. We have a travel ban to Europe right now from America. Like, what do you expect? Our allies hurting allies? Our enemies hurting themselves along with their enemy? Like, come on, man. No, absolutely not. And this idea that if you're black and you can't get it is wrong, because Donovan Mitchell is black. He ain't got it. I heard this morning, well, Rudy Gobert, he black, but he French. So that's why he could get. Donovan Mitchell is black from New York. He got it. But again, catching the coronavirus, especially for a young individual, is not like necessarily a death sentence. You're going to get sick. Your body's going to work to fight it off. It's going to take more time. Your body fights it off. You gain an immunity. And that's what we need. That's the big thing right here, is people getting immunity. So once they come in contact with it again, they can't catch it. And then eventually getting down to the point to where we can create a vaccine, mass produce it, get it out to people so that it's airborne, but you're immune to it. So for you anti-vaxxers, I know y'all don't believe in vaccines and all of this stuff, but look here, man, take this vaccine. I do not want to get sick. I don't want you to get sick because you're being dumb. You're being unsmart. Okay, so take your vaccine. Once we get it, take it. But look, let's not go crazy about this. It does have major effects, but it's part of life. It truly is part of life. All right, so there's some bigger picture things that I do want to get to while talking about this coronavirus piece, because again, Corona, I'm not scared of you. I promise you, I'm not scared of you. I don't want you, but if you run up on me, we're gonna duke it out. You know what I'm saying? I might take a couple shots to the head. You know, you might blood me up, have me down and out for a little minute, but I'm gonna bounce back. Then you're gonna be gone and you can't do shit no more. Hey, but these flights, some of the effects of coronavirus, these flights are absolutely amazing. I just booked a very cheap flight, so I'm excited about that. So here's the one thing that you shouldn't really be concerned about corona, and it's not what corona can do to you specifically, or what corona can do to someone you know, a loved one specifically. You have to worry about what can happen to somebody who's sick with something that is more fatal than corona, not being able to get the treatment that they need because of corona. So there's only so many hospital beds that we have. There's only so much hospital personnel that can attend to your people. So with that, we have to be as efficient as possible with our resources, because as more and more people get the coronavirus and the more and more treatment they require, the bigger of a strain that it puts on medical professionals.
Being open, not gonna be 100%.
And yes, some medical professionals can cross over, but everyone can't do that. Just because you are a doctor does not mean that you are capable of being able to deal with coronavirus. Just because you are a nurse does not mean you can deal with coronavirus. Okay? So we have to be aware of that, and we have to ensure that we're taking care of ourselves and not spreading this, so that people who have fatal illnesses, people who are in accidents, can get the proper medical attention that they need. And that's what really changed my stance on coronavirus. I'm like, come on, man, it's not that bad. I'm looking at the numbers, especially the numbers in America, like the early numbers. I'm like, it's killing people, yes, but a lot of things kill people. A lot of things kill people at a higher rate, to include kill more people, influenza. But again, we have way more years of measuring the flu, so we have a better gauge of the percentage of people that it kills annually, as opposed to this disease, this virus. Let me stop messing that up. But this virus, we just don't have the statistical information yet, and it eventually get here in due time. Okay, group text, y'all go off, why don't you? So the long-term effects of corona or Conaid or whatever the fuck y'all, Covoid, or I don't know, I'm gonna call it corona. Mama's named Corona, I'm gonna call it corona. Some of the other, like, let's go short-term effects. What do we see? We see that South by Southwest is canceled. I'll never ever go to South by Southwest if I gotta pay for a ticket, just because their refund policy is trash. How you go and cancel an event and not give people a refund back just because, excuse me, you have a no refund policy? Yeah, I get it. They agreed to it, just like Meg agreed to that bag deal, but that doesn't make it right, so to speak. But it is what it is. The NBA season has been postponed. NCAA tournament canceled. Conference tournaments canceled. What else has been canceled? The NFL owners meeting just got canceled. They're going to reconvene in the spring. They're talking about altering the draft to only necessary personnel. Golf just canceled the tournament. MLS canceled their season. Italy's quarantine. A lot of stuff is shutting down. And what we have to look at here is there's a lot of money lost. And what happens to that money? Where does it get made up from? And then to see how many things are stopping, how many billionaires are not making money right now, people who don't care about people, they only care about money, should let you know that there is a serious concern here. What that concern is, we don't necessarily know yet specifically, but it is something real, and it should go well above whatever you conspiracy theorists want to believe in. Now, schools have also started closing, and that's the one thing I'm fearful of, because we have people who aren't able to go to work already, which means they aren't getting paid. And then there are people who do go to work and do have children, but if their children are young and can't go to school, who's going to watch them? You can't put them in daycare, can you? They got daycare for a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, you know? I'm too old to be in daycare, which is probably closed, but too young to be at school. Too young to be at home by myself, right? So that's something to think about. And also, you got to look at your medical professionals. If your medical professionals are worried about taking care of their children at home, they're not worried about taking care of individuals in a hospital who are actually sick. So from what we see so far, it's not a disease that is godly. It's not a virus that's affecting children. It's affecting children at a very low rate. So keep the kids in school, age like 19 and under. Keep them in school. So high school from K through 12, keep them in school, because at least that provides a relief for the parents, so they don't have to worry about how they're going to get paid. They don't have to worry about not being able to attend to people if they're in the medical field. It can help out tremendously. For the college kids, I really hate it. And especially with the short notice, I see that some schools have not totally canceled the school year yet. They are not making the kids move out of the dorms. They're just like, hey, look, I saw in Georgia, it's like, hey, don't come back after spring break. But if you have to come back after spring break, the schools have to make amends to accommodate you, just because, like, everybody just can't go home like that. So we'll see how that works. I know not Howard, Harvard was like the first school that we saw this publicly. They're like, hey, get off the campus. We don't want you, like, go away. And I just think that's unfortunate and sad, because you're asking young adults to figure out how to get themselves to safety, get their stuff moved in 5 days. What if you live on the other side of the country? What if you have your car with you? Are you going to drive across the country? Or what if you don't have a car? You're supposed to just throw your stuff in storage, then get a plane ticket across the country. Granted, plane tickets are cheap, but storage isn't. What's the expectation here? I think that for the schools, the colleges, you got to slow play it. And even if you run a risk of people contracting coronavirus because you're making sure they have somewhere to go, I think that's a risk worth taking, because you just can't throw people out on the street. Now they're exposed to even more air. They don't have a place to go to, or they may not have the means to get to where they need to be. So unless you're going to pay for the storage, going to let them keep their stuff in their dorms, then you got to work with these kids, because they're not adults. They don't necessarily have the responsibility yet to have emergency money, because they're not really making money. And even still, how many people truly have emergency money? A lot of people live paycheck to paycheck. It may be their fault, but it's still a reality. So again, we're just going to monitor these things, and hopefully these college students are able to get to where they need to be safely, and they can take care of themselves. Speaking of college student, me as a full-time graduate student, if y'all just want to cancel next quarter or make it online, just let me know. I'm gonna be traveling. But still, I ain't scared of you, Corona. Not scared one bit. Here's what I think is going to be interesting. We saw that Rudy Gobert is dirty, disgusting, and nasty because he was playing around. Ha, 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 Corona, let me touch this, let me touch that. And now he got it, and he's spreading it to his teammates. Bastard. I'd really kick Rudy's ass if I was on that team. But what I want to see is, how does this affect the media? Because there was already this piece of, okay, we're going to remove the media from the locker rooms. So if the media becomes removed from the locker rooms, does this become a permanent thing? And with this becoming a permanent thing, do we lose passionate, private discussions from players to media members? Because if you catch someone after the game, especially someone you're close to, you trust them, you get to get more information, especially in the locker room where nobody can see it. Nobody knows exactly who's saying what to who. Does that affect the way we consume media and the way we consume sports media, because we're not getting as much passionate comments, as many passionate comments? Because as it is, we don't, because players are so media trained now to say certain things, especially on the record. And the talks of, well, there'll be almost like your press conference style, there'll be a general meeting place in the public, which, I mean, probably makes more sense, because who wants to talk to the media pre-shower, sweaty after a big game, right? What the hell? But anyways, you have that going for or against the media. And I think that if this does not get attacked properly, if the media does become restricted, we're going to lose some of the access that we've come into and that we have fallen in love with from our athletes. So that's something to be monitored, and hopefully Corona does not do that. Also, I think the NBA is in a great position to do an experiment. because there's already been talks of pushing the season back, the start of the season back. So there's less football interference, and it occupies a time where sports is dry. After the NBA Finals is over in June, it's pretty dry until football starts in September, and that's where playoff baseball is picking up and going into October. So with the suspension of the season, if the NBA does want to play more regular season games, they have the opportunity to occupy this place in the schedule. Excuse me. Or when they choose to start the playoffs, which there will be NBA playoffs. There absolutely will be NBA playoffs. It allows them to see how the views work during a time block without them really having to do a crazy experiment that could upset people, upset players, upset owners, right? Because the owners are going to want to make this money up. So they're going to want to have a postseason. Absolutely. They're going to have a postseason. So now Adam Silver has the opportunity to try it in this block. And then that gives him ammunition to say, hey, later start. It gives the players ammunition. Hey, owners, later start. Or hell, the owners, if they want the later start. Hey, later start. Look what this did for us. More revenue, more revenue, more revenue. And that's what it's all about with these sports leagues. So that's going to be interesting, and I hope it works, because if you want to give me less early basketball that I don't watch and more basketball leading into football season, so now that I'm completely occupied with sports, then I'm a happy man. But damn it, man, we ain't got no sports. What am I going to consume? You can't bet. You can't watch TV. I mean, you can watch TV, but what? I spend most of my day listening to sports shows. What is Cowherd going to talk about? What is Nick Rack going to talk about? Like the day-to-day sports shows, like I'm not worried about Simmons and Russillo because they give me great content about life and lifestyle and stuff outside of sports. But if we ain't got no sports being played in the next few months, what are we going to talk about? Like NFL free agency, okay, yeah, that's cool. But I still want some live action. Still want some basketball. Sports is a place where we go to escape reality. Not no more. Where's the escape? Am I going to have to start reading? And I read enough. Well, I consume enough information. But just, we're going to read? We gonna watch like real TV, like not like Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus. That number's about to be booming. You hear me? No live sports. I'm gonna start watching Netflix shows that I don't even like. I ain't got no sports. And on that front, NBA, I'm gonna need a refund on League Pass. I done missed about a quarter of the season. I'm gonna need about a quarter of my League Pass money back. And if I remember correctly, that's somewhere around about $50. You would take the 50 from me. So yeah. Run me my coins, NBA League Pass. Hopefully we can get this figured out though, because I would hate to see that the Olympics. I would hate for the Olympics to be canceled. That would not be good. I'm not running from Corona, but here's what I do believe. Along with social media, online dating, the smartphone, Netflix, Hulu, Postmates, Uber Eats, Grubhub, we're being forced into social isolation. We already talk about how poorly millennials are with expressing themselves verbally. Oh, they're great online. Oh, yeah. I can sneak diss you. I can subtweet you. I can do all of this stuff online. I can talk big online. And I see you face to face and I have nothing to say. I can text some stuff, but I can't talk it out, right? I can stay in and watch a movie instead of go out and watch a movie. I can do all my shopping from home to include my grocery shopping, and I get it immediately. Why leave the house? And then you add an airborne virus, the media going absolutely insane, driving people into hysteria. People not touching, which I don't like being touched. People not wanting to become not come in close contact with one another. People not wanting to be out of their house. It's just going to continue to socially isolate us as a people. So as we're fighting off Corona, as we're fighting off the various degrees of independence that we have with smartphone, we have to be aware that it is just driving a bigger and bigger wedge between us and our neighbors. There was a time in America where we were more rural, and you lived on a farm, and you took care of the farm, and you went into town for the things that you needed, but you didn't have next door neighbors. There was not a need to deal with the people around you every day. And now we're in a situation where we have our phones and we don't know our neighbors. We don't know how to speak to people that we don't know. We don't have to go out to dinner anymore. We can have dinner brought to us. We don't have to go to the movies anymore. The movies come to us. And now we don't need to be in large spaces together because Corona can be more easily passed. And that's going to push us further and further away. So don't lose your social skills. Understand that we're going to have to learn how to speak to one another. And this cycle may get worse. But it's a cycle. It'll cycle back to a place to where people do interact with one another, where we put our phones down. But now we are becoming a socially isolated people. And I don't know what it means. I don't know what's going to happen from that. But I don't like it. I like to be able to interact with the people, talk to you, So that's something to think about. And again, society's already pushing us there, but Corona is definitely expediting it. All right, that's enough about coronavirus. I think I hit pretty much everything that I wanted to hit, but understand, man, it's a public health issue, and that's why the precautions are being taken. Be smart, be clean, and not because of coronavirus. Be clean because it's the right thing to do. Watch who you're around. It is something, but it's not the end of the world. Let me see. How long have I been going? Dang, I wish. Okay, I'm going 32 minutes. Let's see. So, in other news, you know what? I'm going to talk about content coming first, right? And this isn't going to be my open letter to my future lady. No, but it's going to be about the importance of content and delivering content. As a podcaster and a person who eventually wants to get paid to talk about things, whether it's via podcast, radio show, talk show, writer, whatever, right? I want to get paid by presenting content to people because I think it's very important. And however that message gets passed, I don't really care, but it has to get passed in a way. So if you're somebody in my life, you have to understand that content comes first. I have to go places and do things in order to create content or to consume content so that I can have an opinion, have a stance on things that happen in the world. Because if I don't know what's going on, I can't speak to people, which is why the social isolation scares me, because I get some of my best content from going to the bar, going to the mall, just being around people. And the more and more we're on our phones, it's like, oh, I wonder what's going on in his mind. I wonder what he's thinking. I wonder what she's thinking. Hell, I don't know, because they're on their phone. So the content comes first. So if I make an off-color joke, yeah, sometimes I mess up. Everything's not funny, but it happens. Why? Trying to create stimulating content. You take chances. When I did the toxic masculinity shirts, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna hit people in a weird way. But guess what? It's a conversation. It's content. When you see it, it makes you feel, it makes you cringe, it makes you want to ask a question or want to slap me in my face. It makes you want to do something. And that's what I want, because I want to make you feel, I want to make you do something. And I think it is my responsibility to present content to as many people as will consume it, to try to make them better, to try to make them think differently from the way they normally think, to try to help center their balance, help them find their inner peace. Because sometimes we get so caught up on doing what's socially acceptable, doing what's politically correct, that we forget about what's right, that we forget about who we are. And maybe we're not politically correct. Maybe we're not there yet in life. And you have to think about, well, you know what? I be feeling like that. I need to work on it. But if you never feel that way, or nobody ever says, hey, you know what? It's okay to feel this way sometimes because it's natural. You may not work on it. You may just suppress it. So content comes first. And again, real content, not me making up shit for the sake of getting a rise out of somebody. No, we're not doing that here. These are real ideas. These are real views that may make you cringe. It may not sit well with you. But I am who I am. What else do we have on the topic sheet, man? I'll tell y'all, I'm actually way better at at monitoring my topics when I use paper, because I'm old, as opposed to using my phone, because the phone actually keeps me really distracted. So interesting post I saw on Instagram this morning when I woke up, and I'll give y'all a little bit on this to see how you feel about it. All right. Let's see, where we at? Where we at? Hold on. Well, apparently my post got removed because I shared it from somebody, and somebody called the honest misogynist, and I guess they took the post down. But essentially what the guy said was, men's value increase as we get older because we become more profitable, we become more stable, and so on and so forth. And women's value decreases as they get older because, you know, your looks start to wane and you become less fertile and all of this stuff, right? And I sent it out to some people that I talked to, like, hey, how do you feel about this one? Oh, this is bullshit. Oh, nah, he's spitting. So I looked and I thought, you know what, this is a great conversation piece, because do I believe it? No. Do I understand the post? Yes. But it depends on how you view life, where you come from, and how you view gender roles in America. Because there are conservative people who say, you know what, yeah, absolutely, because your woman is here to be seen and not heard. She's here to take care of the house and have me kids. And if you subscribe to that belief, it's like, well, yeah, this post is accurate, because as a man, I'm progressing in my career and I do become more stable as I get older. But as a woman, the physical things that I need from you do degrade as you get older. But if you're an open-minded American like me, you obviously see that as farce, BS, and a terrible thing to post during Women's History Month. Because in Women's History Month, you know, it's a time for us to think about and reflect on the great things that women have done, and not the only time, but a time to give it extra attention because it's been neglected for so long. So for this post to be posted during that time is like, come on, man. I get it. You're trying to get a response out of people. You're trying to get a conversation going. But unless you truly believe that you're honest misogynist, then you should probably stay away from that. What else we got? What else we got to talk about today? You know, I saw the baby get touched by the phone, then slap the lady. Look, he attracts that energy. You are what you attract. And I feel like I've talked about this countless times on this platform, but you are what you attract. If you are constantly finding yourself getting in physical altercations, verbal altercations, then you attract it. That's what you want. That's the energy that you want. You are not the victim. No way in hell can you be the victim. Just because bad stuff happens to you does not always mean you're a victim. Because look, it's only so many times that stuff is going to keep happening to you. What you got security, use them. Have the security take care of stuff, but you just can't be out here slapping the hell out of women. Shouldn't be slapping anybody. You are the meal ticket. Remember what Chris Carter said back in the day that got him in trouble at ESPN. Get you a fall guy. Yes, but the baby don't need a fall guy. He needs security. Hey, security, if somebody touch me, I want you to clean them up. If they threaten me, clean them up. And if it's a woman, get you a couple female security guards so they don't try to say, oh, man assaulted me. But you got to protect the bag. And if you out here getting in fights, oh, you're paying this off, you're paying that off, and you're killing your image. Protect the bag. Like, motherfuckers be so concerned about staying true to the street life. Nah, man, where I'm from, somebody touch you, you got to still off on them. Yeah, and ask how many people where you from, are they doing what you're doing? Are they making the money that you're making? Are they running in the new circles that you're running in? Do they have the opportunities that you have? No? Yeah, adjust your mindset. Like I saw a post on Facebook the other day. I don't know about y'all, but like when I go on vacation, I still want to go to the hood. For what? I don't want to go to the hood when I'm home. Unless I'm getting some wings or a haircut. The hell I want to be in the hood for? Unless I'm there doing something to help the community out, to build those people up. What am I doing now? I'm just going to go visit the hood. Let me go hang out with the dope boys, the robbers and the killers, the thugs and the real niggas. For what? Oh, I feel comfortable around. Well, why do you feel comfortable around this? I get knowing where you come from and never turning your back on it, but why would you not want to elevate the situation around you or the situation you came from to the situation that you live in? Because obviously you've left that lifestyle. So if you've left it, that means it wasn't for you. It wasn't the best. So why would you not want the people to experience what you're experiencing? So try to bring them up. Why do you take 3 steps forward and take 5 steps back? Sometimes you got to stop feeling, okay? Like, you got to get out your comfort zone. Because what? This does nothing for you. Baby. Oh, back to Charlotte you go. Because you want to keep fighting and putting your hands on people and slapping women around. That's not going to do well for your public persona. Yeah, you can rap. Yeah, we like the music. The music. Sure. You know what I'm saying? We like that. But you keep doing this stuff, it's going to be taken away from you. And that goes for everybody else, man. Understand you are what you attract. The energy that you emit, that's the vibe that you bring in. So make sure you are attracting what you want. If you're single all the time and you're angry, understand why you always find yourself around angry people. A smile goes a long way. It makes people happy. It makes people want to deal with you. So smile more. Smile. Come on. I'm not scared of you, Corona. What else we got here, man? Okay, the last thing I'm going to talk about is, look, man. Don't touch me. Ain't got nothing to do with coronavirus. Don't touch me. If I don't know you, don't touch me. And I find myself in bars and people want to touch you. It's one thing to bump into you. It's who cares? Whatever. So another thing to put your arm around me. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Hey, man, get your fucking hands off me. Don't touch me. Walk up behind me and say, hey, don't touch me. I don't know you. What do you want? And then once I tell you don't touch me, you still want to touch me. Now you're pissing me off. Now I'm getting angry. Don't put your hands on me. There's only one reason to touch me. And if you know me, you know. The only reason why I want somebody touching me. Hey. But other than that, don't touch me. I don't want your sickness. I don't want corona. Unless it's a beer. This is not an ad. But yeah, don't fucking touch me. I hate that. I'm trying to find a grand way to close out the podcast. Anything positive happen? Oh man, yes. Now I remember. We're gonna close out on this one, man. Don't make decisions when you are bored, lonely, or drunk. Especially if you are bored, lonely, and drunk, you probably should just go home and go to sleep. Because any decision that you make after that is a mistake. And I found myself bored one day. A little lonely. Because sometimes I get lonely, you know. And I got drunk. Not by myself. I went to the bar and talked to people in the bar. And then leaving the bar, man, I found myself in a situation where I was totally uncomfortable. But I was like, well, I mean, I'm awake. I would just be at home, bored, drunk, and lonely. So I might as well be amused, drunk, and accommodated with people, right? And then you find yourself waiting outside for Uber at 3:30 in the morning. In the rain. I want to go outside. Yeah, all that. And then I'm like recounting the whole thing the next day. And I'm like, dang, man, I was tripping. What the fuck was wrong with me? Then the day after, I'm like telling my homeboys, I'm like, man, this shit just really hanging on me. Like, what was I doing? Man, you was bored and lonely. And I was like, dang, you're right. I was bored and lonely. And I could have put myself in a compromising situation just by being bored and lonely and stupid. So when you're in my mind, you know, you just got to make sure that you make wise decisions because your mind ain't right when you're bored, you're drunk, or you're lonely, especially when you're all three. And you just make mistakes. It makes you do toxic things. It makes you hit that ex back up. Or makes you send that text off to that person who you know you ain't got no business texting. Or making that phone call to that person you have no business calling. Or makes you try to do this to feel some wholeness that you're not feeling. It's temporary. It's not the fix that you need. It's just the quick fix. It's like the addict chasing that first high. That's what you're looking for. But you're not going to get it where you're searching for it at. So just make sure you're making rational decisions. You're making smart decisions. You're thinking with your head and your heart. I don't believe in thinking with just your head. I don't believe in thinking with just your heart. A combination of the two. And you're not setting yourself up to disturb your peace just because you're drunk, bored, and lonely. Hey, I'm done now, big baby. Ah! You know, but hey, look here, don't catch corona. Only corona we catching is these beers. Be smart, be responsible, take care of yourself. Good night.